My name is Gianni Russo, a.k.a. Carlo, the infamous son-in-law from The Godfather. I'm now known as the Hollywood Godfather, and this is my story.
Before all of the wins in my portfolio, I was a little boy diagnosed with polio. Experimenting with cures, I tried every one. Felt everything in my right, but my left was numb. Walking with a limp, like will I ever run? Once again, or is this it? Am I forever done? Living in the hospital was never fun. Some people were cool, but not everyone.
Welcome, everybody. It's time for another Hollywood Godfather podcast. And I have my gorgeous co-host, Jeannie Raymond, here.
Hello, everyone.
How are you, my love?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm here. That's more important.
That's exactly right. We're both above ground. So
So many people are dying. I lost another guy, Tony LaBianco, and now Jack Jones. I can't believe everybody's dying. Jeez.
I know.
It's rough to be in your 80s.
You know, it's funny that you say that because you when you get your age, you just see a lot of people that are leaving us. And I went to my class reunion and I was just shocked at the people, you know, my age that were gone. And I just think, oh gosh, the things you're missing out on, you know.
It's funny. I never had a class reunion.
That's funny. I know. I still want to get my friend that was that worked at State Street as a parking cars. I keep trying to talk him into coming and talking to us one day because
Why
that's
not?
a fun
Please.
reunion. I'll go pester him again. Get a hold of a bunch of the people that worked at State Street and have a little reunion. I think that would be hilarious. The stories. The stories
I was just talking to Larry Minetti today, the guy who played Rick on Magnum PI.
Oh, yeah.
And he called me and just to say hello. And we were reminiscing that when I bought the Ferrari from Tom Selleck, because he bought him, you know, he had the red Ferrari on the show.
Right.
For some reason, they sent him a black one as a gift, and he hates black. So he was at my bar at State Street. Larry, him, Al Sachs, who was the president of Stardust Hotel and all that. And he was moaning about they sent him a black car. He's superstitious. He wouldn't even get in it. He said, anybody give me $50,000, I'll give him the car. So quietly, I went to my safe. I got $50,000. I came over and I had a napkin and I was writing out a bill of sale. And he said, what are you guys doing? I said, I'm writing something for you. And I wrote a bill of sale out. Oh. And I know enough about law that it's non-revocable, it's this and that, and I had witnesses, I had Al Sachs sign it, Larry Minetti sign it. And I gave him the $50,000. He said, what's this for? I said, you said just anybody give you $50,000, you can buy the car. He said, oh, yeah. I said, well, sign here, I'm buying it. So about 3 days later, you know, and what I did, because they were on Al Sachs' plane coming in from LA, so I put my busboy and my DJ on the plane back to go get it before they changed their mind. It was like 4 o'clock in the morning. And sure enough, about 4 hours later, I hear the car outside because Ferrari has that humming sound. The sun was coming up. And I told Larry today, because I just sold 60 cars that I had in a collection. I didn't want to tell him what I got for that car. Because what it made it valuable is on the ownership was Tom Selleck. Like on my gold wing, I had what was his name? He was going out with while she was still married to Bobby Evans. He was going out with her. I forgot both of them now. Ali McGraw.
Oh.
And what was his name? The major guy, major actor. And I sold his car because of the as I said, the registrations.
Right.
The names on it, you know, so Steve McQueen.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. Just a small guy, Steve McQueen.
Yeah. That one
we were laughing. Yeah. But we were laughing because he let me know that Jack Jones died today. In fact, Larry was the one to call me.
Geez,
Yeah.
wild.
So it's the Mailbag Show, which
Yeah,
I love.
some happier things. Well, we've got a couple of really fun questions today. So we encourage all of you, please send us in your questions because it's so fun to hear Gianni come up with all these stories from his past. Plus it gives us ideas for new shows. So please keep those coming in. So the first question was, next to The Godfather, what was your favorite movie to make?
Any Given Sunday,
Yeah.
fabulous. Oliver Stone directed. Pacino and I and Oliver Stone were talking about it at Dantana's one night, just on a whim. They knew I was coming, and they started talking about football. And they knew I said something about football to Pacino. And what it was my brother-in-law, Pat Bowlen, owned the Denver Broncos, and he just won the Super Bowl that year. And we started talking. I got Pat on the phone. Next thing you know, we're on Warner's jet the next day, going to Denver. We made a movie called Any Given Sunday, which it was 38 movie stars in it.
Oh yeah. My kids watched that when they were young, and I love Jamie Foxx. They love Jamie
Oh,
Foxx,
he was
but
the best.
they used to sing Willie Beeman all the time because that was nice.
That's amazing that they would even know that.
Oh
But
yeah.
Jamie Foxx had a TV show at the time. That was his first motion picture.
Oh, was it really?
I loved him. Jamie was one of my
Oh,
neighbors in Beverly Hills. Well,
I love Jamie Foxx.
actually in the
Big
Valley.
fan.
Me too. He's still great too. Nice guy.
Exactly. Well, yeah, and that show, my gosh, Cameron Diaz and LL Cool J, what a great show.
I'll tell you a story. I think both of them are dead right now. Anne Margaret and her husband. When I sent the script to them, he called me up. He said, Johnny, he said, Anne has a problem. I said, mean her drinking? He says, yeah. I said, did you read the script? I said, no, she can't come and do a movie. I said, I wrote it specifically for her. He said, what do you mean? I said, she's playing Cameron Diaz's mother, and Cameron Diaz's mother in the script is an alcoholic. So she could say anything she wants.
I thought she was still around.
Oh, no, maybe
I don't
she
know.
was. I don't know either.
But yeah,
in the 90s, I would think. But anyway.
Yeah, I saw a video of her singing and dancing.
Oh my God!
Wow, what a smoke show! She was she was incredible.
I used to see her all the time at the International Hotel in Las Vegas.
And that might have been where it was.
Yeah, that's where it was.
Dancing?
She had an affair with Elvis Presly.
They're both hot. They're both beautiful people. Yeah.
Oh no, they were.
Shocked me.
And she was. I mean, right up to that, even shooting the movie, she was so much fun.
Oh, what a gorgeous! My gosh, she would.
I would have to say, yeah, that's my favorite movie. It's next to The Godfather. Any given.
Yeah, Sunday. Of course. Next, I mean, that was a good question because it couldn't even. Of course, we all know that. So the next question was, while you were in Las Vegas, did you ever meet Charo?
Of course, my God. Or do I have a coochie? Forget about it.
She was hilarious. I love people with big, fun personalities.
It was so funny, because I did 23 Merv Griffin shows at that time. And I'm on the show with her, and I come out, obviously she was the big star. I was like second or third. And I come out, and Merv was making this big deal that her sister was backstage and everybody, Jack Sheldon Wolf. So I said, I come out, and he said, "Did you see Charo's sister?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "Why are you making such a big deal out of her?" Because I was trying to compliment her, saying,
right.
Charo is
the star,
vivacious and a big star. And she said, "What you mean?" I said, "Your sister's great, but you're better." "I don't think so." And she got an attitude, and she got up and walked off. She walked off the set. I couldn't believe it.
Well, that's a good sister.
She's still alive?
I had heard something a while back about, how they take those tour buses around Hollywood and show them the movie stars' home. and
Right.
they said they often get to see her walking her dog.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's how they catch Pacino all the time. They all live in that same neighborhood.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so funny.
Flats.
She was, I grew up watching a little bit of, I loved Johnny Carson,
Oh my
and
God,
I
yeah.
think that's where I saw most of everything. Because before that, I was young, I was out running around, I was doing things, and watching TV's not been one of my big pastimes. I love to watch a movie, but I don't sit down
Well,
and
you
watch.
watch Johnny Carson at 12 o'clock at night. We got your routine.
That's right, that's right. But I remember seeing her on there, and she was hilarious.
Oh my God, she's so
Just so
funny.
full of it and crazy. So,
She was married to Xavier Cugat. That's who made her famous. Did you know
oh
that?
no, no, no.
She was married to Xavier Cugat, and he had her on the stand with him all the time. Coochie coochie doing a dancing,
And
playing
their little
melodic.
shimmies. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got a son that can shimmy like nobody's business. I've never learned the trick. All right. Um, someone said okay, let's see what this one is. Um, tell us what you know about Frank Sinatra's book, teaching you how to be proper as a movie star.
I know nothing about that book.
I'll have to
And,
Google it. I've never heard of it. The ins and outs and what you should and should not do, and
but
how to be proper.
Sinatra could never write that book because if he was drunk, he did anything he wanted, no matter what.
Well, that's so funny. We often there's somebody that keeps writing. Her question is, Gianni, your wardrobe is so wonderful. Let's talk about your wardrobe. So, um, it sounds to me, I've seen some of your clothes and they are beautiful, but they're like nothing I've ever seen before. Your shirts are absolutely beautiful. Where is your clothing made?
Well, my shirts are made in Spain. They could buy them. They go online to La Cosa Mia by Gianni. It's my
Oh,
clothing line.
well, that's fantastic. Now, I know is that for men and women, or is there's just
Yeah, it's a unisex line. No, I
that
have, I have what you could buy for a guy, you could buy for a woman. It's all that, it's fun.
fantastic? Well, I saw a scarf you had on the other day that I'm so jealous about. I love it. So I will be taking a look on there myself, and I'll try and remember and get the in the show notes. We'll get a link so that people can find that easier.
Okay.
All right. So we've got another question. Jackie Gleason. Were you ever in the presence of Jackie Gleason? If you were, how good of friends were you? And can you tell us more about him?
Well, Jackie Gleason, I got introduced by Jackie Gleason by Frank Sinatra because I mentioned in my book and so many times, one of my stops was Toots Shor, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And Toots Shor was the host of New York City. It was a bar up in the Upper West Side, and everybody was in his bar at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It was like going to see the Ed Sullivan show. Every movie star. And Jackie Gleason, and anytime Sinatra was in town, they'd be there by 4 o'clock. They used to call it post time. It's post time.
Oh, I
And
love it.
and I couldn't believe because the CBS studio, which was Letterman and now Colbert, it's been everybody. Prior to that, that was Jackie Gleason's studio. CBS still owns the property, and he was shooting his show in New York City, not LA.
Oh,
So they were
wow.
all there. Anybody was on the show. In fact, let's do a show on that. I mean,
Okay.
let's do a show on Jackie Gleason.
All
That's
right. No,
fun. Thank you, whoever wrote that. We appreciate that.
that was Jonathan, and he's in Kentucky.
Perfect.
Jonathan, thanks for the
Thank
question,
you,
Johnny.
Jonathan. That's a great
Absolutely.
question.
It's nice
Wait a
to have,
couple of weeks, you'll see the show.
that's right. Well, that's fantastic. Well, let's take a quick minute and do a quick break, and then we'll come back to some more questions.
Well, for the next couple of weeks, I'm going to do the commercials myself
All right.
because Christmas is coming, and whatever you celebrate it or not, whatever holiday, go to GianniRusso.com. And if you want a book, you want a record album, whatever you may see on that website that you would want for a gift, just click it on, go to PayPal, pay for it. I'll autograph it to whoever you want and ship it to you directly. So for Christmas or any holidays, birthdays going on forever and ever, just go to johnnyrusso.com. The store is open. And what's nice about that store, whatever you buy, a portion of it goes to underprivileged children for their education. I'm giving scholarships out with the proceeds of the profit. So
And where's that again? They just go to GianniRusso.com.
GianniRusso.com. Then you'll see what different stuff that's for sale. And then they buy it. The .org is Gianni Believes You Can. And all the money goes to getting education to underprivileged kids. So you're buying a gift and giving a gift at the same time. And you write it off that way. It's perfect.
That's awesome. Well, that's funny because there is a question. Alice in North Dakota, can you tell us where we can buy your vodka?
My vodka, now, the only place you could buy it online right now would be All Stars Wines and Liquors. They're in Albany, but they ship everywhere. So just go to All Stars Wines and Liquors in Albany. Craig is the owner, he's a personal friend of mine, and they will ship. He has a license to ship, I think, to 30 states. So
Okay,
that's
great.
the place to buy the vodka. Yep.
Well, I need to get me some. That's what I was just thinking. I need to get a couple more bottles of that.
Whatever you want, I'll mail you my own. Don't worry about it.
All right. All right, let's see. This is Matthew in Florida. I am such a big fan of the Rockford Files. I went back and looked for the ones that you were in. You were in quite a few of them. Tell us about James Garner. Did you like working with him? And tell us something about him.
I got very close to James Garner. I think I did like 15 Rockford Files over the years. And I was just taking up golfing. And I heard he was a golfer, and he invited me to play golf with him. And I did several times. The greatest guy in the world. What you see on the screen is who he is, just a regular guy. He's probably one of the better movie stars or TV stars that I met that is exactly who he is on screen and off screen.
Yeah, I loved the Rockford Files. What was the dad's name? He went by Rocky.
You know more than I do. The dad.
Yeah, you're like, I was in there. I wasn't watching it. Well, that was a great show. That was an absolutely great show. And I did love that one. All right. Let's see. Where are some other ones? All right. This is Samantha, and she is in Nebraska. Samantha said, Gianni, you often talk about how many kids you have. Which one of your kids would you say is the most like you?
Wow, that's a good question. Well, I have a son that is a prince, believe it or not.
Oh,
His grandmother's Princess Anna from Romania, and now he was an ambassador to the United Nations for Romania. He's about 28. He's Demetria. I mean, he looks like an Adonis, this kid, and he loves to dress. I see him when he comes in, and an amazing, amazing kid, and which is funny because his mother, maybe I shouldn't say her name, but anyway, his mother, I met her through Neil Sedaka and his wife.
oh wow.
They brought her to State Street. They both graduated some finishing school in Europe. Neil Sedaka's wife and how should I address him as her rather? Well, Dimitri's mother. I want to just give her privacy. Dimitri's mother. They were there at State Street, and we hit it off immediately. And so they took her back to the hotel and this, that, and the other. I called the hotel Caesar's Palace was like my playground. And they all knew me. And I sent my car to pick her up and bring her back to State Street. And we had a romance for a while. And next thing I knew, like I've gotten that call so many times, 90 days, 120 days later, she tells me she's with child. And this is a funny story. I went to see her father to let him know, I'm responsible and I want to marry your daughter. He started laughing at me. He said, "Do you think my daughter would marry you?" I swear to God, I couldn't believe it.
I do have to say, you're brave, and I got to hand it to you. Just
Well,
not
I always want to do the
for
right thing,
right. No,
You know, I
I
have 10
it's
mothers to
awesome.
my kids, so I do. But the
Do
bottom
you
line,
think she wants
he,
to
he
marry you?
taught me a lesson. He says, "You're a great guy, but you think my daughter's going to marry you?"
That's hilarious. I gotta say, you're like, oh, maybe not. That is
Yeah.
so funny. So did you get married?
No, no,
Probably
no.
not.
No, no, no. I only married 4 out of the 10 mothers, but
Oh,
it's crazy. Good
that is
time.
very crazy. That is very your life is hilarious. You're kind of like a Mormon, but in a little different,
Oh,
shaped
yeah.
up a little different.
Well, nobody, just give me an opportunity to clarify what Brigham Young was saying.
Oh boy.
Do you remember? Brigham Young, right?
Oh yeah, I know who Brigham Young is.
Well, I found out from some Mormons what he was really saying, yelling, "Bring them young, bring them young."
Well, you want to hear the one I've heard is bring them young and bring them often. Sorry, all my
Oh, there you
Mormon
go.
friends.
Why not? I didn't want to finish it that way because that's sacrilegious almost.
I know, but
Right.
hey, jokes are funny. But yeah, don't take us too serious. We're just a couple of
Oh yeah, hi.
podcasters, right?
Having fun. That's it.
All right. Oh, this guy, Cars Smart Media. I don't know his real name, but I love that we appreciate you listening and we appreciate you sending questions in. He says, ask Gianni if he remembers Jack Cogan, who was my uncle and well-connected radio TV guy in Las Vegas, along with
Yeah, of
Gus.
course I know. He was big.
It's a Gus Giuffre. Come on, guys. I don't know. You're gonna have to give me phonetics. I'm just a white girl. I don't know many Italian names. Guff. I don't know.
Gustafson?
Gus. No. Giuff. Giuffre. I don't know what that says. He
I
worked
don't know
with
either.
Jack Cogan in the TV and radio.
I know Jack Cogan. I don't know that guy.
Gus, I'm sorry. I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna ask somebody what that is. Anyway, Jack hobnobbed with Sinatra and the rest of them. So,
No, he
so,
was
so
around. He was around a long time. That guy actually.
Jack Cogan, what was he? How did
He
you
was
know
a
him?
radio host in Vegas.
Oh, okay. Did he come to your club and stuff like that?
Oh yeah, and he used to be, to go to Sands Hotel to see Sinatra rap back. Then we all moved to Caesars right after that. When all of them went to Caesars once not Kirk Kerkorian, rather. I'm sorry, Howard Hughes bought the
Oh,
Sands.
I see.
Everybody left the Sands and went to
Anyway,
Caesar's Palace.
oh wow. I don't know why every time I think of Caesar's Palace, I think of Frank Sinatra. I've
You
never seen
should.
Frank Sinatra, but that's what comes to mind.
Yeah, he left when he left there. His last performances were there. In fact,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
All
but
right. Philip Probachenia. I don't know. Probachina. I'm so sorry. These names. This is an email. Philip. I'm just going to go with Philip.
there you
Philip
go.
said they demolished the Tropicana. Do you have any stories about that hotel?
Do I ever? Frank Costello owned it.
Oh wow,
I opened a nightclub in there with Elvis Presley, opened it for me, called Tiffany's,
Tiffany's.
before I opened State Street. No, they just demolished it. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's what he said. They
I
just
watched it. I watched the explosion on the TV just to see it. What
I watched
memories?
some of those things and all the people standing outside and so many people that said, we've come here forever. We live in
Oh,
Vegas.
I
That
know. Yeah, it was one of the oldest hotels. It was right on the corner of Flamingo and Las Vegas Boulevard. Great
wow.
hotel.
Yeah, it's wild to see some of those big places go down that have been there forever.
Yeah.
They're like
Oh my God, yeah. I think that was the last one because the Dunes, they blew up the Dunes. I watched that, and that's when Steve Wynn built the Bellagio. So I mean, I've watched a lot. They've abolished so much property. It's crazy now. I
yeah.
wouldn't even know Vegas. The thing that shocked me on the news today, they're building the biggest In-N-Out burger, 10,000 square feet
Holy
in
cow.
Vegas. I guess the gourmet rooms are not doing too well.
Well, yeah, it's crazy. It is so big there. I know, Gianni, I keep trying to talk you into coming down and going to the rodeo because I think we'd have a ball. But
Anytime you want Jackie Gone and all of those guys still had it. His father was an amazing guy. And they brought the rodeo there. It's always the last 2 weeks of December.
oh, it's
And
coming right up. It's
yeah,
all over it is taunting me, Gianni. So I'm going to try and find a way to
next
get it into your
next year we'll go. But this year I'm so booked all the way. Right now I'm booked until April already.
Yeah.
So
Oh, speaking of which, this is Jackie in Nevada said, can you give us a look at what your schedule looks like for the next few months?
well, I'm not coming to Nevada, so that's for sure.
Jackie, we can't get him this way. I don't know what to tell you.
No.
So what's your next appearance?
Oh my God. My next appearance is during Black's
Black Friday?
Friday and Saturday. I'm at Benjamin's Optical at the American Dream Mall in New Jersey. I'm all over the place. I just booked every weekend in first weekend of every month, and in London starting April 5th. So I'll be going to London once a month to do a show. No, my show's on the road now. I love it.
Oh, you had said you had a new show that you had
I just
written.
finished it. I just finished it. Yeah.
Oh, you haven't performed it yet.
No, not
You're
this
about
one. No, I'm just about to start. But
Well,
I'm very proud of it. The last 8 minutes of the show I dedicate to Sinatra. And you'll see a collage of Sinatra pictures right to the few days before he died in his pajamas.
wow.
It's a great tribute. Well, he called for me to come and see him because he thought he was dying, and he died 4 days later. It's
Oh,
very moving, very moving. For me, it was because,
oh, of course.
I heard him on the radio when I was in Bellevue, and he was from Hoboken with humble beginnings, and he gave me the inspiration to move on and live on, and he got me out of that bed. I attribute it to him. I really do.
Oh, I'm sure.
So it's a great show.
That's right. Well, and when you say that he gave you inspiration, it's amazing how somebody like Frank would impact you, and that without you even knowing the people that you're impacting the same way Frank was doing it. And there's a long message from Jose Gamma. And Jose, we want to wish you the best. Hope you're doing well. But he wrote quite a long email, and I'm gonna pass that along to you because the one you sent the rosary to, and he said it was such a touching long email, but that's exactly what he said, that he feels like he's not in a shape, he can't get up, can't get around, but you have inspired him, and how much that to him. So I want to get you the whole email. But Jose, we want to just say hello and
please, Jose, keep praying for you. You're in my prayers every day.
Yeah. And he's always listening to the show, and we appreciate it, Jose, and wishing you well.
So forever, please.
That's exactly right. And it's just fun, Gianni. It's just one more person whose life you're touching without even knowing it, just like Frank was doing for you.
It's amazing well, I meet people on the street, and they're fans of mine now, like you're saying. And for me to inspire somebody, I think that's the greatest compliment I can get.
Absolutely. Isn't it crazy? The people whose lives you touch without even knowing, And then once you hear about it, it's just such a sweet thing to know. Oh, this is it. I've got another great question. Let's do our next commercial, and then we'll come back and talk about it, because it's going to be one I bet you've got a little to say about.
All right, like I said, I'm going to do most of the commercials personally myself, and gives Mike, our producer, a little time off because he's been doing them. But I want you also, thinking about the holidays, go to cameo.com and download their app. And I'm doing cameos. And why I think they're great, because we send you a video, I personalize it to whoever you want, and it stays on your phone forever. You could show all your friends, and it's any message you want. And I do that. And it's go to, as I said, buy the app, cameo.com. Look up Johnny Russo on there. Send me your address, and we email you the whole
thing, like, talking about whatever you want.
Whatever
our request is.
Yeah, 2 or 3. I just got a Cameo. I can't believe the other day, which I'm very religious, you know that. They asked me to ask their brother to be the godfather to their new kid. I made the announcement, which I thought was so moving.
Oh.
In fact, I asked them to invite me to the christening. I'd go.
How cute. I know you've been part of Baby Reveals, is that right?
Yeah.
So everyone, if you want to surprise somebody, if you've got a Godfather fan in your family, certainly sign up. I'll put a link in the show notes of how you can get a hold of Gianni to get that personal message. And boy, what a fun Christmas present that would be. That's fantastic. Oh, yeah. I mean, and you can pretty much talk about anything that they put in the.
Anything they want. Yeah, I mean, well, it's not profanity. I don't.
Oh, right.
Like somebody asking me.
Oh, that's funny. I was thinking, my mind, I'm sorry, but I'm thinking, if you wanted to tell somebody, hey, I just don't like you, Gianni, yeah. I'm going to have Gianni Russo break the news to you. I don't want to be your friend.
I wouldn't do that. Nothing negative.
No, you are so positive, Gianni, and that's such a tribute to who you are, because you always have such a great attitude towards things that I love. So, all right, this is a question. It said, I loved your show about Bobby Darin. You talked a little of Connie Francis. Can you tell us more about her?
Well, I'm glad someone requested that. And even in knowing Bobby, most people don't know it. Bobby gave her first song because he was a songwriter first.
Oh, wow.
And in fact, with that question, let's do a show about Connie Francis. There's so much to say. And who's this gentleman? A woman? Who would it?
Oh, hold on. I flipped the page over. It is Lori.
That's all we need. We don't need the last name.
Lori, yeah.
Lori, tune in next week. We're going to do a show on Connie Francis. That's easy. Awesome. See, that's what we want you to know, people. Give us suggestions and we'll do it. I mean, like a guy that my mind's already spinning about doing a show for Jackie Gleason now. I love Jackie Gleason. And some of the stories are insane about this guy.
Well, it's crazy, Gianni, because I love that the people will just say a name and then all of a sudden it just sparks something in your mind, and all of a sudden you're off to the races as far as it's kicking up memories you hadn't thought about in such a long time.
I had such a privileged life being around Costello, who owned the Copa Cabana. I was there every night. You'd see anybody that meant anything in the entertainment world, either on stage or in the audience. That's how crazy it was. Even my relationship with Grace Kelly, my friendship, happened there. I would never know Grace Kelly.
Right.
But
the people that you hobnobbed with are absolutely incredible.
I know. It's like decades and decades of movie stars. It's crazy.
So let me ask you, so when you were hanging around people and meeting all these people, how old were they compared to how old you were at the time?
I was in my teens. And I only went up to the table. See, that's one thing about Costello. He was such a gentleman. Like when Grace Kelly and her friends were there, if he had to get up for a phone call or something, he'd call me. He always saw me, I was always around. I was always in his eye shot.
Oh,
And
nice.
he'd just wave me over and he'd say, keep the ladies company, make sure nobody bothers them.
Oh, I
And
love
so I
that.
got to meet them all. They all liked me because I was this young kid and very friendly, and they couldn't figure out who I was. Because
Right,
and everybody that would ask me, he said, "What's your name?" I said, "The kid."
kid.
"What's your name?" I said, "I can only say I'm the kid." He said, "Whose kid are you?" I said, "Frank's." They
I
thought
love that.
maybe somehow, but I wasn't, you know. But it was
That's so wild.
a
And
great
looking
privilege.
back, I mean, you were hanging around with the who's who crowd, and what kid? I mean,
I was 13 when I met Walter Winchell, Dorothy Kilgallen. You name anybody that was anybody, either on stage or off. I
right.
was I was at the Copa Cabana. I can't believe this. When the New York Yankees were in the audience,
Oh, wow.
and there were
Oh,
a bowling team at a table not too far from them, heckling Sammy Davis Jr. And they
oh,
were using, you know, bad
slur.
descriptive words to
Right.
describe him. And the Yankees cleared the room with them. I mean, they beat them to death. Oh
I
my.
love it. Well, not,
And
yeah.
then all of a sudden, it was in the newspapers and it was done. You never heard another thing about it. Those guys never showed up anywhere. All of the cases were dismissed. So I said to Costello one night, I said, "What happened to that case?" And he looked me in the eyes, "What case?"
Oh my gosh. Now, did Sammy Davis Jr. I've heard of Dean Martin's kids, right? And I know Frank Sinatra had kids. Did Sammy Davis Jr. have kids?
Not that I know of, because we was with Britt for a while, and then Altavis, his last wife, which gives me a great opportunity to talk about. Sammy was so upside down with money and drugs and everything else. When he died, they foreclosed on his house in Beverly Hills.
Oh,
And a guy with sunglasses on and a hat sat in the audience and kept bidding on the house. As it went up, he kept matching it, only to find out it was Jack Nicholson and he gave it to Altavis.
oh,
Now that's a story, and nobody knows about that story. Imagine that. He bought
that's
her the house because Sammy had nothing when he died. He was so crazy.
oh, I love wonderful people.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Oh, that's awesome.
yeah.
Jack Nicholson. He's hilarious. Have you ever worked with him?
I never worked with him. I hung out with him a lot. Crazy. He lived up on Mulholland Drive, so him and Marlon Brando. My neighbors were like, again, a who's who. And unfortunately, my house was 10,000 square feet. Everybody knew me. Dr. Dre, everybody knew of me, and there was just people around me. I remember when Heather Locker was
Oh, yeah.
married to that wacko.
Oh, the singer.
Yeah, and he lived on our compound, and he would race and jump. We had speed bumps for the kids and all that, and when he went to sell his house, we leaned his house for over 100 and something tickets that he never paid.
Oh my word.
What was his name? A crazy guy.
Um, oh gosh, I knew it right when you said it. I'll remember.
Yeah, I remember him. Yeah, he was
Yeah,
always on his
he used to speed
motorcycle.
down the road. You just wonder if somebody didn't whoop his butt.
I know. And
That's
we,
crazy.
we were because I had two little kids at that time there, Adriana and Luciano. And they were out in the front yard all the time.
Wow. So how many girls do you
Tommy
have?
Lee.
How many?
Wasn't Tommy
There
Lee?
we go. I think so. Yes. Yeah, you're
Good
good. I love
minor.
it when my brain kicks in after.
Yeah, hello.
Usually it's not till like 5 o'clock in the morning when I'm in the shower. That's when the brain works its best, but it's yesterday's news that comes to me. If I could just
You
get
shouldn't,
my,
you shouldn't tell people your habits. There'll be peeping toms at five
I,
o'clock.
oh yeah, my best thinking is done in there. That's so funny. All right. So, well, hey, we've got some great ideas for some new shows. I can't wait. Everybody tune in so we can hear about Connie Francis. Get your cameos for Christmas. Let's see. I'll get some links in the show notes so we will be able to find your clothes, your vodka, the cameos, and whatever else we can come up with, right?
Oh, yeah, please. Keep the cards and letters coming.
That's right. That's right. Everybody, thanks for joining us. Please like us, share our podcast. The more people that are listening and following, the more ideas we come up with for new shows. And we want to, I'm as big a fan as the rest of you of Gianni's, and
That's how you got
so fun.
That's how you became the co-host.
That's exactly right. And I love hearing these stories. Those people, Sammy Davis, Elvis, Tom Jones, Engelbert Humperdinck, I heard them all as a little kid, but these are people that I've listened to that a lot of my friends weren't big Tom Jones fans, weren't Engelbert Humperdinck fans.
Oh, it's funny you should mention Engelbert Humperdinck because I just did a concert in July in Baku, Azerbaijan with Engelbert Humperdinck. Well, I didn't even know where we were.
That's right. And I remember when we were at the Hollywood show, we met someone I thought could have been his son, came walking up and he said, yeah, I'm staying at Engelbert's.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It was well, there was a guy that looked just like
the karate guy.
The karate guy in the booth next to us. I just dropped my phone or I could come up with his name. That dated Priscilla Presley.
Right.
And he was staying at Engelbert's house.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
No, Angie is a good friend still.
Well, that's wild. We need to get Engelbert to come on our show because he looks.
Oh, we'll come on in a minute. He's such a good friend.
Oh, he just seems like a happy.
He's constantly on tour. 89 years old. He does an hour and a half show.
Oh my gosh.
Straight hour and a half show. It's amazing.
All right, I've got another real quick question before we leave. Have you ever done, when you talked about him doing a show, have you ever done a duet with anybody? That's my question. I was just curious.
No, I never did.
Yeah, we need to feature some more of your music because I'll tell you a while back you sang a little on the show and I absolutely think your voice is beautiful and I enjoyed that.
All they have to do is go on JohnnyRusso.com. There's albums for sale.
All right.
In fact, one of my biggest albums was Frank Sinatra's orchestra. And at the end of the session, I went to pay for them. And they said, no, for the union guy sits there, calculates every second. And he said, no, Mr. Sinatra had paid for everything. I couldn't believe it. It's like a 5-day session. We shot an album.
There can't be many people with that story, huh? Well, thanks, Gianni. These were great. I love the questions, and I'll keep searching for more so we can do another one next month. But
please, definitely.
Great show.
All right. Everybody have a great, safe holiday if you're celebrating whatever it may be, or just be back here next week. God bless.
That's right. Have a good night.
Good night.
And that was that. But I'll be back.
No regrets, no complaints. Lived a life with no restraints. The little kid they all counted out, proved them all wrong, that's without a doubt. Laying there with my left side numb, 5-year bout with polio, but yes, I won. From standing on corners like how many pens you want to living in a bakery, then opening my own restaurant. Of course, I had some help along the way. Friends like Frank Costello that I miss each and every day. Things from many years ago still resonate.